This scam-baiting encounter will be much shorter than usual. If this is the first of my videos you're seeing, first you might want to check out one of my other longer, more dramatic, and more amusing videos. On the other hand, if your memory goes way back to the earlier days of personal computers, you'll probably enjoy some ludicrous references that went over the head of the scammer, and the scammer's impatience with my limited math skills, and I'm sure you'll learn a valuable lesson from the old proverb about, well, you'll see. It all begins with an offer of a legit and genuine lucrative business deal from Mrs. Reem Nasser of Saudi Aramco Crude Oil Company. And the confusion begins with that very first email. As you can see, the subject line reads, Sales Marketing Manager. So I take the leap of intuition and assume the sender is looking for a sales marketing manager. But then I see Mrs. Reem Nasser herself is the sales marketing manager. Maybe she's looking to hire her own replacement. Let's find out as I reply to Mrs. Reem Nasser herself. I am interested in your job opening for a sales marketing manager. How do I apply? Signed, R.J. Rob McClellan. I believe my opening sentence is a genuine example of sloppy typing, but I left it that way because, whom am I trying to impress? Mrs. Reem Nasser promptly replies with your typical boilerplate gibberish about having found me from the web search and a lot of verbiage that displays an unusually strong command of English for what I'm sure is an international scammer. She explains that Saudi Arabia is a big oil-producing country and that Saudi Aramco Company is offering me a contract partnership business deal. I'll be paid 8% salary profit for each crude oil barrel sold to each of our buyers. All they need to do now is authorize the legal expert team to commence with the registration of the new local company with my name paperwork as soon as I indicate my total interest. I indicate my total interest by responding. The job for a sales marketing manager definitely sounds interesting. If you look closely, you'll see that Rob made 2 more sloppy typos in that one sentence. Can you tell me how much that is in American dollars? I tried to Google it by this picture, but I still don't understand how much in American U.S. dollars. Is there an official job application form I should fill out? If so, please send it to me as soon as possible while the job is still available. Mrs. Reem Nasser explains that I don't need to sell any oil. Basically, they'll do all the work, and for some reason, I'll get 8% of the proceeds. It isn't until a week later that I'm able to respond, which I address up front. Please excuse my delay in responding. As you might have seen on the news, there has been a terrible outbreak of fires in this area. Fortunately, my house was spared, but there still is the oppressive smell of smoke in the air and everywhere else. I understand that I wouldn't be selling any oil, but I still am unable to ascertain how much my 8% comes to in American dollars based on 10 million barrels per day. Is there some sort of conversion chart on your website that I could consult, or on someone else's website? Also, can you send me an official job application form, or am I supposed to download it from online somewhere? Mrs. Reem Nasser replies with an exceptionally wordy form letter. Thanks for your response. I give you my trust and guarantee as we are going to work together, and I promise that I will be very honest and sincere with you. That's reassuring, I guess. One thing I've learned in my life is that it never occurs to honest and sincere people to go out of their way to tell you how honest and sincere they are. She has attached a copy of the company registration form document, which I need to sign and return back urgently. Oh, and look, she has personalized this scam pitch by naming the new company McClellan Oil and Gas Company. Pretty cool, huh? She explains, your major obligation in this deal is to set up an offshore account, disperse funds accrued from the sales of these crude daily in an offshore account with a bank that will be communicated to you at a later date. We don't want the money here in Saudi Arabia due to the ever-changing political situations. She will handle all cost, facilities, manpower required to explore, store, export these barrels. Then there's this ridiculously dense paragraph that's way too boring to go into, followed by a request for all sorts of personal information that really is none of her business. But she whets my appetite by revealing that they expect $200 million US dollars first in the coming day from a Georgian buyer who is already on ground, and my 8% is certain. Just need to fill in the application form. But as she poetically informs me, time is not our friend. I await the filled application form with a copy of your international passport for your identification, and she attaches the not yet filled application form. But there appear to be some unexpected technical difficulties. As I explained to her, I have tried unsuccessfully to open the PDF application you sent me. The first 2 times, nothing happened at all. I tried rebooting my computer, which is a pretty old Kaypro, but which still works very well, I think. After I rebooted it, it gave me an error message that said, "Set unhandled exception filter detected." And then after that, each time I tried, it just sat there without doing anything. Would you please send me a new application form in a different format? I can open pretty much any file that's Kaypro compatible. Also, I don't want to sound stupid, but I still haven't found out how much my 8% will be worth in American dollars, US dollars, which is what I would prefer. Her reply is surprisingly abrupt. If you read clearly, you will get to see where it's stated that you will be getting $16 million from the $200 million. Of course, I didn't get where I am today by not reading clearly, but I try to remain cordial. Thank you for explaining that it will be $16 million. That sounds satisfactory. I wonder if one of your emails never arrived here. You said that amount had been clearly stated if I read clearly, but I have gone over your previous emails clearly and don't see that amount mentioned anywhere. No matter. Now I have the answer, thanks to your most recent email. Speaking of recent emails, did you see the problem I explained about not being able to open the PDF application form, which I am to fill out and send back to you via email to create my file in your office and also to enable your legal department to prepare the MOA that will back up this transaction between me and your company? I am quite anxious to conclude this transaction, but as I mentioned before, I can't get that PDF application form to open. She responds, "Send your details and we shall review it and then get back to you with another form." I reply, "Okay, great. Please send me one of the forms that I'll be able to open." She responds by once again sending me that list of all sorts of personal information that really is none of her business. We seem to be going in circles, which isn't something we should be doing given the fact that time is not our friend. So once again I tell her, I want to send you the information you need, but as I explained earlier, I am unable to open the PDF you had sent me to put all that information in. I am anxious to proceed, but I simply cannot get that PDF you sent me to open. I even copied that PDF onto a new floppy drive and transferred it to my other computer, a leading edge, which is newer than my Kaypro and can open any computer file in any format with no trouble at all. To my surprise, however, not even the leading edge computer can open that PDF. I tried at least 10 times, and every time I got an error message telling me there was a conflict between the PDF and Norton Utilities. I am guessing that something technical went wrong when your secretary or your assistant or maybe your intern, if you use them in Saudi Aramco, created that PDF for you to attach to the email you sent me on May 18. I'm not trying to blame anyone. It's just that maybe that person, your secretary or your assistant or maybe your intern, doesn't know very much about how computers work, although I'm sure all 3 of them put together know a lot more than I know about oil, crude oil, etc., which, to be honest, is very little, if any. May I make a suggestion? If they don't know how to do it, the PDF, you could ask someone in your company's IT, information technician department, to create a new PDF for you, and you could attach that in a new email that you would send to me. I hope this doesn't sound too unprofessional for me to ask you, but are people who work in IT, information technician, in Darren's Saudi Arabia as weird as all the ones in America who have that job? Sometimes it seems like they must be from another planet or something. Not really, of course, but sometimes it seems that way. Is that pretty much the same where you live? Anyway, as soon as you can send me a new PDF or perhaps some other type of document file for me to put all that information in, I'll quickly fill it in and send it back to you ASAP. 3 days pass with no further word from Mrs. Reem Nasser. I sure don't want someone else to steal that great new job, so I ask, is the job you advertised for sales marketing manager still open? I wanted to submit my formal application, but it was in a PDF document that for some reason I couldn't open. If the job already has been filled by someone else, please let me know so I can resume my search elsewhere. Thank you and good fortune. For someone who promised to work together and be very honest and sincere with me, she has become surprisingly taciturn. Yes, it is still open. Okay, that is great. Please send the fixed PDF application as soon as possible. She does send me another PDF file, but as I explained to her, I am starting to think that your IT information technician department doesn't at all know what they're doing. The new PDF job application they gave you to send me ends up giving me the exact same identical error message as the first one did. I really would like to be seriously considered for the job because it sounds so perfect for me. But now it seems someone else will get it instead of me because your IT information technician department keeps sending me PDF job applications that cannot be opened by any computer. If my new job would require me to work closely with your IT information technician department with frequency, then I don't see how any of us would get any of our work done. It seems to me that if we can get oil to come up out of the ground, our technicians should be able to successfully do such a simple task, don't you think? Please have a technical manager take a look at this problem and fix it right away before the job is given to someone else who might not be as qualified as me. But it seems Mrs. Reem Nasser no longer is interested in working with me. I think it all boils down to a lack of chemistry between us. After more than a week passes with no further contact from her, I choose to end our communications with a final Dear Mrs. Reem Nasser letter. Although the job we talked about sounds perfect for me, and I know I could do it well to your satisfaction, I have had no communication from you in more than a week. I assume that means you have hired someone else, which is your prerogative and does not provoke an objection from me. I do think, however, it would have been professionally courteous of you to write to me and tell me you have hired someone else, especially after I wasted all that time trying to get your PDF documents to open and even offered to speak to your IT information technician department about it. I think the old proverb about the hen and the raccoon applies well to this situation. I truly did expect better of you. Best of luck in your future endeavors, R.J. Rob McClellan. If you are engaged in or plan to begin scambaiting, this encounter offers a valuable lesson. For scambaiting to really succeed, you and the scammer need to have some sort of rapport between you. Rapport doesn't necessarily mean you like each other. It refers to an enhanced state of communication. Although I did slip in a few jokes there, we never got past the stage of scammer sends copy and paste messages to intended victim. As a result, this correspondence was relatively brief and certainly much less outrageously provocative as the others you'll find on this channel. If you haven't watched any of the other videos, please check out at least one of them, and I think you'll see what I mean when I speak of the power of rapport. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so you'll know whenever I've added a new Scambaiting email video. If you'll be kind enough to comment below on your reactions to this video, I promise to make sure Rob sees it. It's been an honor to share this scambaiting adventure with you. In sincerity and on behalf of Rob McClellan.